I'd like to welcome y'all to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where y'all come to get motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and an overall positive message. Today's episode is about not doing the same thing we do every single year. You know, it's time to get off that hamster wheel and start moving forward with your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, whatever it is that you want to do. And this episode was inspired by a conversation that I was having with a friend at work a few days ago. And he was just telling me about how, he's ready to kind of step out on his own, do his own thing, start his own business. And, he's just tired of working for other people. And we were just having a great conversation, a great back and forth. And as he was kind of talking about why he hasn't started the process, or why he hasn't gotten why he hasn't made any progress or moved forward and to the next steps of whatever it is that he's trying to do, it just reminded me of myself when I first thought about starting a podcast. It was always, well, let me go see who else wants to do this with me. Let me see who else I can do the podcast with. Let me wait until I have the right equipment. It was just always something. It was always just, let me wait, let me hold off, let me push this back, let me see about this, let me go find this. You know what I'm saying? It was so many excuses that I was making because I was just scared. You know what I'm saying? I was scared of failing. I was trying something new, something I've never done before, something um I haven't seen anybody around me or near me have success with. So it was very scary. It was very daunting. It was very nerve wracking. I didn't like the sound of my voice. I'm just giving myself every excuse in the book. So then when I listen to him, talk, it's just like I'm hearing a lot of the same things. Like he's trying to find a partner. He's trying to find this and that. And I get it. Starting a business is way different than a podcast. So there aren't many parallels, but there are a few. And so what I told him was just like, well, what I asked him was, well, what if you don't find a partner? What if you don't find someone else? Then what, are you just going to wait, on your dream? Are you going to put your dream on hold until you find somebody, or are you going to, do what you need to do? And I just had to tell him, like, that was the same thing with me, because like I said in the beginning, I always thought that I was going to be doing this with someone, and maybe I will at some point in time, but I can't wait on other people, because if this is my dream, this is my goal, I can't wait. I can't keep putting my goals on the back burner because I'm waiting on somebody else to come sit next to me. I'm waiting on somebody else to do this with. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I had to put myself first. I had to put my dreams and my goals and my aspirations first, and I had to move forward. And so I was pretty much just trying to tell him the same thing. Like, I get it. It may be easier with a partner, and it may make more business sense with a partner. But if you can't find that partner, then don't continue putting your dreams on hold, waiting on somebody who may never come. Or, you know what I'm saying? That person might be out there, but they're waiting on, but you gotta at least start. You gotta at least initiate the business. You know what I'm saying? You just never know at what phase of your business you're gonna meet that partner. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna always be at the very beginning before you start. You meet the person and y'all build together. There might be a point where you're building and then somebody comes along at the perfect time. You know what I'm saying? And then they can help you continue to build. So, now we were just kind of having discussions about that, because in his mind, he's at a point now where he's willing to put his business on hold or put his dreams on hold until he finds that business partner, because in his mind, he can't see, or he can't envision it working without a partner or without somebody else to help him. And you know what I'm saying? And I was just kind of like, why? You know what I'm saying? Just asking questions, not necessarily that I disagree with him, because again, I don't know anything about starting my own business. So it's not like I'm disagreeing with him. I'm just asking questions to get an understanding of his thinking as to why put your dreams on the back burner. Like, why is the partner so important? And the more that we talk, the more that we both, well, the more that I saw it before he did, because again, I went, I just went through this. And again, I'm not trying to compare doing a podcast with starting a business. I know they're two totally different. I know that they're two different things, but there were similarities in our mindsets, and I saw it pretty quickly. And I was just hoping that he saw it and he realized that, okay, this is just more so my fear talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it would. It for him, I can understand that part, the part of him that thinks like, okay, it'll be easier for me if I have a partner, to take some of the responsibility and take some of the culpability off of me. But at the same time, it isn't necessary. You don't have to put your dream or your aspirations, whatever you're trying to do, you don't have to put it on hold. You don't have to put it on the back burner just to wait on that partner. You know what I'm saying? You can start doing what you need to do. And then if ever that partner comes along, cool. But if you start to have success without that partner, then, keep it running. But what we realized, well, what we started to see was that it was a lot to do with, just fear, of the unknown, of the road he hasn't traveled. So, it's always a lot easier when you have somebody next to you. And again, like I told him, I completely understand because I went through the exact same thing where, I was hoping to have somebody with me to do this. So that way everything wouldn't be on me. I've never been comfortable with all the eyeballs and all the attention on me. I've been okay with being the side character or the background character. That's just been me. But now I'm in a position where, I got to be the one in front of the camera. I got to be the one making my dreams happen. If this is something that I want for myself, it's something that I have to go and get. I can't wait for somebody to hand it to me, or I can't wait for somebody to say, hey, I'm right here with you. Let's do this together. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait on those things. I have to go and get it if I want it. And this is something that I want. So it's something that I have to go out and try to achieve on my own. And so that was just something that I was trying to get him to understand because, how long are you going to wait? How many years are you going to go by? You know what I'm saying? How many potential buildings, potential great spots are you going to let pass you by because you're waiting on this partner that may never come, or you're waiting on this partner who might be waiting on you to start the process. You know what I'm saying? You never know where that partner is going to come in on the process. That your partner could just be waiting on you to sign and and get your building. You know what I'm saying? You never know where your partner is going to come from, if you even need a partner to begin with. But I know how that fear works. I know how that fear works, and I know how that doubt works. I know once that doubt creeps into your head, it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to find holes in any business plan. It's easy to find doubt. It's easy for that doubt to spread. You know what I'm saying? That doubt, it's kind of like faith. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say that mustard seed, doubt is the same way. Doubt can spread the exact same way. All you need is that mustard seed size of doubt. And you know what I'm saying? That doubt can take you so far because it's so easy to be negative. It's easier to be negative than positive. Well, it feels easier, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something you've never done before. You know what I'm saying? Something that you haven't personally seen success with. When I say personally, I don't mean like it doesn't have to just be you, but somebody around you. You haven't seen it be successful around you. You might be able to look on YouTube and hear somebody's success story and hear the good and the bad, the ups and the downs of their journey. But it's totally different when you can reach out and call somebody who's doing what you want to do and, you know what I'm saying, and talk to them. So when you don't have those type of things and you allow that doubt to creep in, I understand how easily that doubt can take control of your life and how that doubt and that fear can paralyze you. And then the next thing you know, 4 years done went by and you still on that hamster wheel doing the same old things and coming up with the same old excuses for yourself. And again, because I lived that life, you know what I'm saying? I got let's just say 25 years of being on that hamster wheel. So now that I'm finally getting myself off that hamster wheel. I'm doing my best now to try to help the people around me get off. I do my best not to enable people with their excuses. I try to get them to be accountable for their goals and their dreams, and hopefully they do the same for me. You know what I'm saying? So, we can be accountable for ourselves and help be accountable for each other. So when I see somebody who has a goal, who has a dream, who's trying to do something, but I also see how they letting that fear control them, I do my best to, as one of my friends pointed out to me the other day, I do my best to put a mirror up in front of them and show them, to try to show them themselves, or show them, whether I'm showing them themselves by putting a mirror in front of their face so they can see how they're acting and really hear what they're saying, or showing them somebody who's just like them so that they can start to see, maybe there's some fault in their decision making, maybe there's some fault in there or a flaw in their thinking, and now they can start to see and correct the things that are going on, or just realize that, okay, I'm letting my fear control me, I'm letting my fear paralyze me, I'm letting my fear stop me from, taking that next step, or taking that first step to what I want. And I just want them to see that once you take that first step and you can take that breath, now that you've taken that step and you've taken that breath and you've looked, your world hasn't been destroyed. Things are still moving. Things are still going. Okay. Now you're confident to take that next step. You know what I'm saying? And then you just taking it step by step, day by day, until you get to where you want to be. And again, like I've said before, and I'll continue to say, I'll take slow progression over no progression. And I think that was one of the biggest things, the biggest mind flips or mindset changes that I had to make, because I think for a lot of us, we think big progress, we think big changes, we think, we want to see a total 180. We want to see that shift within those first couple of days, those first couple of weeks, first couple of months. And now that my mindset is, I'm okay with slow progress as long as I'm making progress, no matter how small the progress is or how little the progress is, as long as I'm seeing progress, as long as I'm progressing, along my path, then I'm okay with that. And that was the mindset that I had to shift. First, I had to get past my fear. I had to get past my fear of failure and my fear of, not making it, or, disappointing people, things, all of that. Once I got past that and I realized that, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice to get to where I want to be. And then the that's where the change started to happen, where it was like, you know what, I'm okay with slow progress, because I know what it took for me to get past my fear to even get to the point to where I'm sitting in front of this camera and I'm hitting record and I'm recording. I know what it took for me to even get to this point. So everything now, if it's going slow, as long as it's moving forward, I'm okay with that. As long as it's getting easier to be in front of the camera, as long as I'm getting more comfortable with my voice and I'm getting more comfortable with my mannerisms and everything like that, and everything starting to flow more naturally, and I'm getting, and I'm finding myself in this new space that I'm in, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to take time, but I'm going to find my zone. I'm going to find my lane. I'm going to find where I'm comfortable, what I'm comfortable talking about, and things like that. I'm going to find my groove, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to take me some time, but I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that slow process. But as long as I'm moving, you know what I'm saying? As long as I've gotten off that hamster wheel, and I'm not perfect, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't have days where I get comfortable, or I get too relaxed and I find myself back on that hamster wheel. But I am thankful and lucky enough to have people around me who notice it, and they get on me and they let me know, like, hey, you ain't been posting, or hey, we ain't seen no videos, or hey, what's going on with this and what's going on with that. And so, I got people who keeping me in check as far as making sure that I'm staying off the hamster wheel for too long. You know what I'm saying? And I have to do a better job of being accountable to myself and holding myself accountable for not being on for not getting on a hamster wheel in the first place. So I have to do a better job of that. But I am appreciative of the people around me who also help to keep me off that hamster wheel or to get me off of it when I do find myself on it, because again, bad habits die hard. These are habits that I've had for a long time, so they're not going to go away overnight, but I do need to work and get to the point to where they do go away. So I don't want to keep using that as an excuse. Just because they developed over years doesn't mean that I can keep giving myself that excuse every time I fall back into those bad habits. I have to start being accountable and taking my journey seriously and taking where I want to go seriously, and understanding that I have to put the work in and I can't keep stumbling over the same stone, you know what I'm saying, every couple of days or every couple of weeks. So I am working on that. I am getting better at that. And I do appreciate the people who call me out on my stuff. But back to the conversation we were having. So we just kind of got to talking, and it did get a little heated at one point in time because, again, as someone who's been there, you never want to get called out on the stuff on the stuff that you know that you're doing. And when you know that you're not putting your all into it, when you know that you're not giving it 100%, when you know that you're playing around and you're not taking it serious, you don't want to hear those things. And when you hear them, you just naturally get defensive and you want to lash out. So it kind of got to a point to where, he got defensive and he lashed out, but I didn't take it personal because I understood it. You know what I'm saying? And like I told him, I'm like, I was right. I've been where you are. You know what I'm saying? And there are times where people catch me not doing what I need to be doing, and I'm right where you are. You know what I'm saying? So I've been there, and I understand that you're not mad at me. You're just mad at yourself. You're just taking it out on me because I'm the one putting the mirror in front of your face and showing you yourself, showing you how you say you want this, but you're not. You know that you're not doing everything that you could possibly be doing to have that. You know what I'm saying? You know that you aren't taking every single step, or you being hesitant to take the next step for whatever reason. We all have those things. Again, when we're trying something new, that next step, there's some hesitation there. So I think that there'll always be that hesitation for every new step, at least until you get to a certain point and you know that this works and you've seen the results of your hard work. And now whether that's with notoriety, with fame, with money, whatever it is that lets you know, hey, this worked, this formula works. And now you can just subconsciously, to take that next step, and you no longer fear that next step. But it takes time to get to that point to where you no longer fear the next step. And so, you know what I'm saying? So once I kind of got him to calm down and realize that I'm not trying to combat with him, I'm not trying to go against him. I'm really just trying to help him, but I'm not going to coddle him, just like vice versa. Now that you know what I'm into, don't coddle me. You know what I'm saying? If you see me not doing what I need to be doing, let me know. You know what I'm saying? Push me, motivate me, show, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that, because I understand now the importance of that. I think I said it in one of my past episodes that I didn't have a lot of that, excuse me, growing up, but I understand the importance of it now. So I enjoy the people who push me. I may not want to always hear it at the time that you're telling me, but just know that I do understand what you're saying, and I understand the importance of you saying it, and I do appreciate you saying it when you see it. That's just like when your parents tell you to clean your room, wash the dishes, whatever the case may be. You may not want to hear it at the time, but you do understand that these are things that need to get done. These are things that need to happen. These are things that you need to be doing. So they're trying to set a good, healthy habit for you, trying to put some good habits in you. And so, yeah, you may not want to hear it at that time. You may not want to do it, but you do understand that it's something that needs to get done. So that's the way I look at people giving me constructive criticism. Like, yeah, I may not want to hear it because deep down, I know that I'm not going as hard as I need to be going. Deep down, I know I'm not doing everything I need to be doing. Deep down, I know I'm not talking to every single person I should be talking to about how to get better with these podcasts, who I need to be talking to about getting some interviews and bringing some people on the show, or just, spreading the show, getting my show to reach more eyes and to reach more ears. You know what I'm saying? I know that there's plenty of people that I can talk to, and I haven't been doing what I need to be doing. And so when I hear it, even though I know they're right, it does get frustrating, but it's not me being frustrated with them. It's being frustrated with myself. Like, what else do I need to get that motivation going, that self motivation going? And that's something that I have to figure out, and I have to do what I need to do to get to where I'm self motivated and I'm firing on all, what I'm saying, on all levels, and I'm doing everything that I need to be doing to get to where I want to be, and so that way I don't need somebody being on my neck every couple of days to make sure I'm doing what I need to be doing, or I'm talking to the people I need to be talking to, or I'm making the investments into myself that I need to be making. But it's a process, you know what I'm saying? And I'm getting to where I need to be. I'm getting better, but I'm nowhere where I need to be right now. So, but it's a flow. But I just was trying to relay that message to him that I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gotten over my initial fear and I've taken my first step. And you know what I'm saying? But there is still hesitancy to take the next step and the next step. But I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? I'm slowly but surely getting that confidence to take those steps, but I see a lot of myself in you, because I hear the excuses, and that's all they are. You know what I'm saying? Is that they're excuses, because when I sit down and I talk with them, it wasn't so much that he needs a partner. He just will feel more comfortable with a partner. He will feel more comfortable if everything wasn't all on him. You know what I'm saying? If there was somebody else to take a bit of that burden and a bit of that responsibility off of him, like, nobody wants to fail by themselves. I guess it would be a lot easier if you had somebody else to fail with, maybe somebody to put that blame on or to share the blame with, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, yeah, I hear you. Promise you, I hear you. I promise you, I understand what you're saying, but you got to realize that this might not be anybody else's dream right now. This is your dream. This is your goal. This is something that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you're talking about spending the rest of your life doing. This is something that you're talking about could potentially take care of you and your family. So you got to do what you need to do if you're serious about this. This is what you want. This is your dream. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait on somebody else to come make your dream happen for you. You got to make your dream happen for yourself. And again, when I'm talking to him, I'm just trying to reassure him, like, I'm talking from experience, because how you feel about um, starting your business is how I feel about this podcasting thing. So I'm not, so, you know what I'm saying? When I tell you I'm right there with you, I'm right there with you. I may be 1, 2 steps ahead as far as getting past the fear of taking the initial step and putting myself out there to even try to make my dreams happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm far ahead, but I see where you are, and then you letting your fear paralyze you, letting your fear give you all these excuses and all these reasons why it won't work, or why you can't be successful. And you got to stop doing that to yourself, because you're self-sabotaging. You letting your doubt, turn your dreams into your fears, and you getting very paralyzed. And I mean, at some point, even the thought of starting your business is going to make you just, it's going to make you just want to give up, you know what I'm saying, and stop dreaming. And you can't get to that point. You can't let the fear control you to that point. And again, I'm talking from experience because I let my fears control me. I let my fears stop me from doing plenty of things. Who knows where I would be in the world if I didn't let my fears control me? Who knows what mountains I would have reached, through what mountains I would have climbed, and what peaks I would have reached. Who knows? I understand my talent and I understand that the sky is my limit, but I didn't see that before. I was caged in by my comfort zone. So all I saw was my comfort zone. I couldn't see past my comfort zone. I couldn't see the world outside my comfort zone. And so my comfort zone limited my vision. So the only thing that I thought I was good for was certain jobs, certain levels of jobs, certain opportunities. And when the opportunity that was outside of my comfort zone would come around, I just automatically assumed that it would fail. And, I don't blame anybody but myself. It was me. You know what I'm saying? It was my mentality and the things that I went through. So now that I see people around me who took those opportunities and were successful and who have amazing lives now, I'm not mad at them. I'm not jealous of them. They took the opportunity that I didn't. They believed in themselves when I didn't believe in myself. They betted on themselves, and I think that, like, if you have that mentality, I think that that's a beautiful thing. I always commend football, basketball players who come back from injuries on the last year of their contract and they say, you know what, I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna go ball out on this court. I'm gonna go ball out on this field, and I'm gonna earn that next contract. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's a great mindset to have because you believe in yourself. You trust in the work that you've put in. You trust in, your rehab and all that you've done, and now you go out there and you show it. And I think that for me, first of all, I didn't put the work in, so there was no work for me to trust. So I didn't believe in myself. So I never really had anything. I never really had that foundation to believe in. So me, I'm starting from the very bottom. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting from the very bottom, just putting the work in now. So that way when the tough times come, and the money might not be flowing in or it's whatever, I can look back at the hard work and believe in hard work and believe in myself and go bet on myself. So that's the process. That's the part of that I'm in right now. And that's what I was telling him is I'm in the rehab, working on myself, working on my mental, working on my emotional, spiritual, physical, working on all of that. So that way, you know what I'm saying? I can look back and know that and know the work that I've put in and trust the work and trust the foundation. I don't even have to question it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I put in. So now it's time for me to go do what I need to do, and I can bet on myself without the doubts, not have to worry about the doubts of everybody else because I know the work that I put in. So I'm putting in this work, and a lot of it I have to do by myself, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I need to do so that way when the time comes, I believe in myself. I trust in myself. So when those opportunities start to come, there's no doubt in my mind. I can do this. I can hold my own in this arena. I can hold my own on that battlefield. I can do what I need to do because I know the work that I put in. I know the work that I've been doing on myself and on my craft and what I'm, I'm saying, and what I'm my profession and what I'm trying to make a living in. I know what this foundation is. I know the weight that this foundation can hold and the burdens that it can carry. So that's the process that I'm going through right now. But I had to take that first initial step to say, I'm not allowing my fears to control me anymore. I'm finna take this first step. As scary as this first step is, and mind you, it was scary, it was nerve wracking, it was one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of the most terrifying things ever because for me, I'm expressing myself to the world. I'm putting myself out there to the world. You know what I'm saying? Even though all of the world may not see it, but it's available for the world to see. So recording for the very first time and posting it was nerve wracking, you know what I'm saying? But once I posted it, I was able to take that, let that breath out. And, it's like, okay, life goes on and, you start to see the positive messages. You see when you start to see man, I needed that, man, that was confirmation that I need to start doing this and all that stuff. And then you start to realize, okay, This is what I need to be doing. Now let me start working to get better at this. But this is where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing. I found my calling, or at least one of them. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that I have more things to discover about myself. But right now I have found at least something that I enjoy doing and something that is helping other people in a positive way. So I'm thankful for it. Excuse me. But that was just a conversation that him and I were having, because I was just trying to get him to understand that, man, once you can get outside of your comfort zone and once you can start to see the world through another lens that isn't the way, you're not blinded by your comfort zone, where you can finally open your eyes and really see the world for how big it is and how amazing it is. And yes, there's parts of it that are scary, but you don't have to let that fear control. You don't have to let that fear make you scared to go explore that. You know what I'm saying? Understand that it's okay to fail. I think that was another big thing that I had to realize, that it's okay to fail. That when you really look at some of the people who are very successful, I know I've said it before, but a lot of them have failures in their stories. Take, like, okay, Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. So there's failure in all success stories. So it's okay to fail. Just, it's never okay to give up. And I think that once that finally clicked in my head, it's like, okay, if I do fail, I fail, but learn my lesson, figure it out, and get back out there and do it again. So I think that once he starts to get those lessons, and once he starts to understand that it's okay to mess up, it's okay to fail. Just because you fail doesn't make you a failure. You failed, learn the lesson, get back out there. You know what I'm saying? Because success is out there, but you're never going to get there by quitting or by staying attached to that failure. You know what I'm saying? That failure doesn't make you who you are. It's never about how many times you get knocked down. It's always about how many times you choose to get back up. And you never, you know what I'm saying? You never know how high you're going to reach if you just choose to stay down once you get knocked down. But, that's something that he has to learn. This, just like all of us, is something that we have to learn. We got to find it from within, because it has to start with us, because nobody will believe in us until we believe in ourselves. So it definitely has to start with him. But once he gets to that point to where he's believing in himself, he believes in his dream, he believes in his goal, and he's willing to sacrifice for it and all of those things, then he'll start to see, um, how his views on certain things are going to change, and how it's going to be easier for him to do certain things and to be in front of certain people, and how easy it's going to be to move forward with his goals and with his dreams, because he believes in himself. And right now, that's the main thing that he has to find. He has to find the belief in himself to get past the fears of taking that first step. And he'll start to realize that there's still fear, especially in the beginning of taking every new step, but it gets easier and easier with every single step, because you start to get more and more confirmation that this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you need to be doing. You start to get more information. You start to get more advice. You start to get more people behind you, supporting you, believing in you. And next thing you know, you taking those big strides instead of these small steps. But we all got to start somewhere. We all got to crawl before we walk before we run. So I believe that he'll get to that point. He just has to find that trust in himself, that belief in himself. And then he has to just keep building on that. But he has to start with that foundation. But, that's today's episode, man. It's time to start getting off these hamster wheels. We do the same things every single year. We come up with the same excuse for why we're not doing what we need to be doing, or why we're not doing what we want to be doing. But it's time to get off those hamster wheels and start moving forward. Even if it's slow progress is better than no progress. And as usual, I want to thank everyone for listening on whatever platforms you're listening on. I appreciate you taking the time to check me out. And if you're watching on YouTube, you already know, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I want to continue growing. And y'all have a blessed day.